if somebody is breaking in my mama's house, I expect her to do nothing but call the police.
That's snitching. Your mama snitched.
Yeah, and it's crazy because
your mama tell on a who broke into her house today. That's considered snitching.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
Tax's real name was Daryl Campbell. He was ordered to serve the sentence in state prison, followed by 5 years of post-release supervision for the killing of Ronald Banger McFadden, the friend and bodyguard of his nemesis, rapper Troy Ave, a.k.a. Roland Collins.
Troy told on that case, did all that. And this is what pissed me off about Troy the most, bro. Because I actually was a fan of Troy Ave. I was a fan of Tekashi. I was giving these guys music tries. And it was a time I even kind of got upset. I was like, Troy called Kendrick a weirdo. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I didn't like that. But you know what? I guess from a street nigga perspective, if you don't know the little homie, you might get it f***ed up. So whatever. Feel me? But you was preaching this street shit. You was big D-boy and excess. And the first sign of trouble, trouble, all of that became a myth. The streets is a myth. It's like, no, brother, you got to ride your own. And it irritates me is because the general public, right, which to me, they should just mind their business and lead this amongst people that come from the life. It's so easy to manipulate them and make them feel like, oh, I didn't, because they're getting One thing I realized, Eiht, and let me restart this whole train that I'm about to drive down everybody's throat. What I realized more than anything, dog, is when y'all first came out, everybody who wasn't street, even the black people who knew they weren't street, felt like they was learning from MC8 and Compton's Most Wanted. Felt like they was learning from Eazy-E and NWA. Felt like they were learning from Ice-T and the Syndicate. Felt like they were learning from all of the Ghetto Boys. You felt like you were learning. Anybody else that wasn't from that small life that we are from, right? Fast forward 30 years later, right? Mm-hmm. They hear some music and feel like they know what's going on. So most people really think they know what's going on. They like, oh, I've heard hip hop for 30 years. I have music to drive by, like you got music to drive by. So I know what's going on too. And it's like, that's the biggest problem. So even when you're telling people why you can't f with it, they're like, well, there's no paperwork. And I'm like, I was taught that, it needs to be paperwork. It's on video. Like, what do you mean paperwork? It's literally a video of it, him snitching. You don't need paper. And this is the problem, because they heard that in the rap song and they said, well, my people told me that. No, your people didn't tell you that, because nobody who's from the streets would even question this. But that's the biggest problem today, is where you have people who never grew up in the life, but they grew up listening to hip hop records. So they feel like they have as much vested and as much knowledge as the streets themselves, people from the streets. And that's what's it all up, man. That's why people don't think he told in the first place. Even when I was talking to Chris still, and I was telling him, he like, well, they can't use what he said. I said, that's the message his attorney put out, that they can't use the testimony. I'm like, it's obvious they can use the testimony against Thug. It's obvious. It's not even a thought. It's not even a thought. They literally made him say these things for a specific reason. It wasn't for nothing else outside to build a case. So it's weird now where even the people who might not with him, like I could see if Chris would say to me, you know what, Unc? Man, that nigga's a rat, but I don't care because I'm not a thug. They don't even want to admit they not thugs. They like, well, he didn't really tell. It wasn't like that's like, yes, he did. Like, just say you like him and he a rat. I like Elton John. Elton John is gay. I like Freddie Mercury and Cream that he gay. It's nothing like that. You don't gotta be anything else but yourself for me to like your music. And I'm not gonna make it no different. I'm not gonna make it. I would never listen to a rat, right? Because that goes against morally what I represent. Same thing. I'm not a homosexual, but that don't mean I can't jam. I'm not gonna make Freddie Mercury the player of all players because I like his music.
Right.
He can be who he is. That's fine.
Yeah. You don't fit this mold, and I never expected you to fit the mold of what I represent. So I can't expect you to live by a code that I lived by. You know what I'm saying?
What Tax did say, he said, man, half the stuff that was told in the stand by Troy Ave, who was offered a shorter sentence for his testimony, is a complete lie to protect himself from going to jail. And Tax really believed he was the victim of an orchestrated hit, and he just defended himself. That's what he truly believes in his mind. Of course, I wasn't there. I don't know what was going on. I know they had a long-standing beef back and forth. Tax let it be known he wasn't rocking with Troy Ave and vice versa. It was just a long-standing situation. But 35 years, a long time now. Gee, I don't know the law like that. Does he have a chance to get out early or something like that?
I don't know. I ain't no attorney neither. I'm just a nigga that been in jail a few times. But it's I hope the best with Tax, man.
35 years, you gonna do it.
At least he got action. He got action.
If he didn't get it with an L, then he got action. He got action at parole after a while.
Better than forever.
Yeah, because he's been there for 5 years already.
You get 35 years, and shit, some niggas you get a chance for parole after 8 years or some shit. You get me?
Yeah, he's been there for 5 already.
I'm not no, like you said, I'm not going off to whatever, and I don't know really, but if you got action at parole, then you will get a chance at parole. Yeah. You get me? As long as the motherfucker don't get the L on the end, then hey.
That kickstand will hold you up.
Exactly. You get me? Nigga get 40 years and he got a chance.
40 years beat life.
Yeah.
The other nigga ain't never coming back. So, you know what I mean? Shit, he got action. But that whole really disappointed me, man. And it's like, look, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm not saying I understand what it's like to be under that pressure. I've been under that pressure before. But my point is, it can't just be good when it's beneficial for you. And I guess that's the human condition. You know what I mean? Like, it was all fine for him to do all this shit and drag this man, and you was going to approach this man and do all of this, and that man turned the score on you. You would think in a real world you would just deal with it. But again, man, a lot of men are becoming women. They don't want to have no accountability. And snitching is one of the number one ways to avoid accountability. And I'm talking about real snitching, not like that fake snitching where you seen a crime and you tell the police. I'm saying when you are telling the police about someone else's crime to avoid being punished for yours.
Right.
That's snitching.
Yeah, that's snitching.
Not this other shit. I don't know about this other shit.
When me and you both go do some dirt and then I want to tail and to save my own ass, that's snitching.
Yeah, man. Damn.
It ain't like you said, if a motherfucker see an actual crime happen and he tell
that's something totally different. That's you different. See an old lady get mugged and you see an old lady get killed. Now I'm not gonna call you. You told on the nigga who killed the old lady. I didn't know that motherfucker. I just, you hear me? Like, oh, nigga, you snitched on the nigga who killed the old lady. And I understand that that's considered snitching, but even at my intellect level,
that's this modern society's definition of snitching.
Exactly.
But they putting that on everybody. See, they putting it on. If somebody is breaking into my mama's house, I expect her to do nothing but call the police.
That's snitching, nigga. Your mama snitched.
Yeah, and it's crazy because
your mama tell on a nigga who broke into her house today. That's considered snitching.
Ain't that crazy? 70-something-year-old woman. I
was explaining this to a kid on Instagram, man, and the little dude was asking me. He was like, "No, G, snitching is when anybody tell the police. See, y'all trying to change the rules," and I'm like, "Bro." There were people houses on 117th Street that you did not sell PCP in front of. And it wasn't because, you know what I mean, like they was going to come out and kill you. They was going to call the police on you. And my older homies didn't say, hey, we going to murder them people, them older people that raised us and been around us our whole life. They was like, hey, don't sell in front of Miss Johnson's house. Yeah. She going to call the police. It was a respect for that lady. I'm trying to explain this. This is in all communities. There were all elders that raised your generation, my generation, the last generation, and that you just respected them. And you knew that they didn't play by your same rules. And if you violated, my older homies would violate me. They would be on me. Man, hey, man, don't fight the you up because you done got this lady mad. They don't give a about that. So again, trying to explain to people the reality of how we grow up is so hard because they are so convinced that they know.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is